When humanity unveiled their ancient fleet, the galaxy quaked. Part 1. Jack Harmon wiped sweat from his forehead as the Chilean sun beat down on the Atacama Desert excavation site. At 42, he had spent nearly 2 decades digging through Earth some years past, but nothing had prepared him for what his team discovered yesterday. "Dr. Harmon, you need to see this." Jack looked up to see his assistant waving frantically from the entrance of the cave they had uncovered 3 days ago. He sighed, set down his water bottle, and made his way across the dusty ground. As an archaeologist specializing in pre-contact human history, he had grown used to disappointment. Humanity's place in the galaxy was small, their history unremarkable, according to the older alien species that dominated the Galactic Council. Inside the cave, cool air washed over him as he switched on his flashlight. His team had cleared away most of the fallen rocks, revealing a smooth metal wall that had no business being in a natural formation. "The readings are off the charts," said Lisa Wright, the astrophysicist who had joined his expedition after Strange. Energy signatures were detected in the area. Her dark hair was pulled back in a practical ponytail, her eyes fixed on her scanner. "Whatever's generating this power has been running for thousands of years." Jack ran his hand along the seamless metal. "This isn't modern human technology, and it's definitely not alien tech either." "How can you be sure?" Lisa asked. "Because the Galactic Council would have claimed it already," Jack replied bitterly. "Everything we find that's valuable, they take. Ancient technology belongs to them by treaty, remember?" Lisa nodded. Humanity had joined the Galactic Council only 70 years ago after alien ships appeared in Earth's orbit. They had been welcomed barely as a minor species with little to offer. The treaties they signed seemed fair at first until humans realized how many restrictions they placed on Earth's development. "There's a door here," one of the junior researchers called out, "but no handle or control panel." Jack moved closer to examine the section of wall. It looked identical to the rest of the metal surface. "Maybe it needs a key," someone suggested. "Or a password," said another. Jack placed his palm against the cool metal surface without thinking. "I wish we knew." The wall hummed beneath his touch. Lines of light spread outward from his hand, forming intricate patterns across the metal. Everyone stepped back as a seam appeared and the wall slid open. "How did you do that?" Lisa whispered. Jack stared at his hand. "I don't know." Beyond the doorway lay a long corridor, lights activating automatically as they cautiously stepped inside. The air smelled clean, not stale as expected in a sealed chamber. "This place has been waiting for someone," Lisa said. After walking nearly 50 meters, they reached a large circular room filled with technology unlike anything they had seen before. Displays lit up as they entered, showing star charts and diagrams. In the center stood a raised platform with a single console. "Can anyone read this?" Jack asked, pointing to symbols flowing across the nearest screen. Lisa stepped closer. "It looks almost like Latin, but older. And these diagrams, they're showing stellar coordinates." "Human," a voice suddenly spoke, making everyone jump. It came from nowhere and everywhere. "Who's there?" Jack called out. A hologram appeared on the platform, a figure shaped like a human but made of light. "DNA confirmation successful. User identified as descendant. Access granted." "Descendant of whom?" Jack asked. "The founders, the protectors, the ones who seeded the stars." The hologram's voice was neither male nor female. "This facility has awaited reactivation for 15,382 years. Lisa gasped. "That's impossible. Human civilization wasn't advanced enough then to build something like this." "Your understanding of your history is incomplete," the hologram replied. "The sleeping fleet awaits your command." "Fleet?" Jack echoed. "What fleet?" The hologram waved its hand and the star chart expanded to show the entire solar system. Points of light blinked on various planets, moons, and asteroids. The defense fleet of humanity. Hidden when the memory wipe was initiated. Preserved against the day of awakening. Jack and Lisa exchanged looks of disbelief. "You're saying humans once had an advanced space fleet before recorded history?" "Humans were not merely spacefaring," the hologram corrected. "Humans were the first, the founders of the Galactic Council. The protectors of younger species. Jack laughed nervously. That can't be right. We're barely tolerated by the council races. The Zalthori ambassador called us cosmic infants just last month. The Zalthori were uplifted by humans to serve as administrators, the hologram stated. They were created to serve. Before they could process this shocking information, Jack's communication device buzzed. It was a message from Admiral William Foster of Earth's Small Defense Fleet. Dr. Harmon, is your team responsible for the energy spike we're detecting? The Maldorian ambassador is demanding explanations. They've brought 3 warships into orbit claiming we've violated weapons treaties. Jack looked at the hologram, then at the star chart showing dozens of hidden locations throughout the solar system. Admiral, I think you should come see this personally, and bring your best people. 3 days later, Admiral Foster stood in the ancient facility, his weathered face pale as he watched the hologram display technical specifications of ships that dwarfed anything in Earth's current fleet. If these vessels exist, they would change everything, he said quietly. The Maldorians have given us 48 hours to pay reparations for supposed treaty violations or face military action. We can barely defend our orbital stations with what we have. The nearest vessel is located within Mars' moon Phobos. The hologram informed them. It is a destroyer-class ship with full combat capabilities. Could we reach it in time? Lisa asked. And even if we did, would it still work after all these years? The fleet was designed to endure until reclaimed, the hologram answered. It waits for proper genetic authentication. Admiral Foster straightened his uniform. Dr. Wright, how quickly can you prepare coordinates for a mission to Phobos? Dr. Harmon, I want you to gather everything this system can tell us about operating these vessels. You're actually considering this? Jack asked. Foster's eyes hardened. The Maldorians called Earth unworthy of the stars when they delivered their ultimatum. If there's even a chance we can prove them wrong, I'm taking it. As the team worked frantically to understand the ancient technology, more discoveries came to light. The facility contained records indicating that humans had once commanded respect across multiple galaxies before some catastrophic event forced them to retreat to Earth. The memory wipe was self-imposed, Lisa realized as she decoded more data. Our ancestors chose to forget their own greatness. But why? Jack wondered. The hologram's answer was simple. To hide, to survive, to begin again when the time was right. On the final day before the Maldorian deadline, Admiral Foster received authorization from Earth's government to launch a secret mission to Phobos. Commander Olivia Bennett, his most trusted officer, would lead the small team. As Jack watched the shuttle depart for Mars, Lisa joined him at the view screen. Do you think it's true? She asked quietly. That we were once the most powerful species in the galaxy? Jack looked at the star chart at the dozens of points marking the locations of the hidden fleet. I don't know, but I think we're about to find out. In orbit around Mars, Commander Bennett's team approached Phobos with caution. I'm not seeing any entrance or facility, she reported back. The hologram says to broadcast this signal, Jack instructed, sending the frequency. For a moment, nothing happened. Then before their astonished eyes, a section of Phobos' surface shimmered and disappeared, a holographic disguise deactivating after thousands of years. What it revealed was an entrance large enough for their shuttle, leading into the heart of the small moon. I'm going in, Bennett decided. As their shuttle passed through the opening, lights activated along a massive hangar bay, and there it waited, a sleek warship of impossible design, its hull bearing symbols similar to those in the desert facility. Humanity's past was awakening from its long slumber. The galaxy would soon remember why it once trembled at their name. When humanity unveiled their ancient fleet, the galaxy Quaked Part 2 Commander Olivia Bennett floated through the silent hangar bay inside Phobos, her breath fogging her helmet as she stared at the ancient warship. It was sleek and dark, shaped like a predator from Earth's oceans. Despite sitting dormant for thousands of years, its hull showed no signs of decay. Command, are you seeing this? She whispered into her comm. Back on Earth, Admiral Foster, Jack, and Lisa watched the video, feed with astonishment. The ship was twice the size of Earth's largest vessel but somehow looked faster, deadlier. "Try to find an entrance," Foster instructed. Bennett and her team of 5 engineers moved cautiously around the massive ship. Chief Engineer Sam Miller ran his scanner over the smooth hull. "No radiation, no energy readings," he reported. "It's completely powered down." "The hologram said these ships respond to genetic authentication," Jack reminded them through the comm. "Commander, try touching the hull directly." Bennett removed her glove, hesitated, then pressed her palm against the cold metal surface. For a moment nothing happened. Then, like in the desert facility, lines of blue light spread from her hand, racing across the ship's surface. "It's working," she gasped as a seam appeared, widening into a doorway. The team entered cautiously, their lights illuminating a corridor that lit up as they moved forward. The air inside was breathable according to their scanners. Another impossibility. After so many years, they reached what appeared to be the bridge, a circular room with stations arranged around a central command chair. Everything was designed for human proportions. "This doesn't make sense," Sam said, examining a console that was coming to life under his touch. "This technology is beyond anything we have now, but it's clearly made for humans to use." "The hologram said humans were once the most advanced species," Bennett reminded him, "that we forgot our own history." As more systems activated, a voice spoke from all around them. "Genetic authentication confirmed, crew status valid, vessel status operational." A hologram appeared in the center of the bridge, different from the one in the desert facility. This one appeared as a soldier in uniform. "I am Guardian, tactical interface for destroyer-class vessel Defender," it announced. "This ship has been in dormant status for 15 through 382 years. Welcome back, descendants." "Can you tell us about this ship's capabilities?" Bennett asked. "Defender is equipped with gravitational drive systems, quantum shielding, and phase weaponry," Guardian replied. "It was designed to face multiple enemy, capital ships simultaneously." Sam whistled. "That's impossible with our current understanding of physics." Guardian's hologram turned to him. "Your current understanding is incomplete. The knowledge was removed for your protection." "Protection from what?" Bennett asked. "The enemy," Guardian replied simply. "They are likely extinct now, but the protocol remains active until officially overridden." Back on Earth, the Maldorian ambassador's voice boomed through the speakers in President Diane Carter's office. The alien's skin was pale blue, his eyes cold. "Your time is running out, Madam President," he said. "Either pay the reparations for your treaty violations, or face the consequences." "Ambassador, we've broken no treaties," Carter replied calmly, though her hands were clenched beneath her desk. "The energy readings your ships detected were from an archaeological expedition, nothing more." "Lies," the Maldorian hissed. "Our sensors detected technology far beyond your current capabilities. You have found something you should not have. The Galactic Council has clear rights to all pre-council technology." After the transmission ended, President Carter contacted Admiral Foster. "Tell me you have good news," she said. Foster shared the feed from Phobos. "Commander Bennett's team has accessed the ship. They're learning its systems now. Can it help us against the Maldorians? If Guardian is telling the truth about its capabilities, one ship could handle their entire fleet," Foster replied. "But we don't know if it can fly yet, let alone fight." "Keep me updated," Carter said. "And hurry." On the Defender, Sam and his engineering team worked frantically to understand the ship's controls. "It's like the ship is teaching us," Sam told Bennett. "The more we interact with the systems, the more intuitive they become." Guardian explained, "The neural interfaces are adapting to your thought patterns. This ship was designed to be operated even by those without training if necessary." "Can we fly it?" Bennett asked the critical question. "Basic flight operations are now possible," Guardian confirmed. "Weapons and advanced defensive systems require further crew integration." Bennett contacted Admiral Foster. "Sir, we believe we can move the ship. Request permission to attempt launch." There was a pause, before Foster replied, "Granted, Commander, but maintain stealth protocols. We don't want the Maldorians to detect you." Bennett settled into the command chair, which adjusted to her form. Sam took the engineering station while other crew members found their positions. The controls lit up beneath their hands. "Initiating power systems," Sam announced as the ship hummed to life around them. "Releasing docking clamps," another engineer reported. Though there were no physical clamps, the ship had been held in place by its own systems for millennia. Bennett took a deep breath. "Take us out. Slow and steady." The Defender moved smoothly, gliding out of its hangar within Phobos. The false, holographic surface of the moon sealed behind them, hiding the secret base once more. "We're clear," Bennett reported. "No signs of detection from Maldorian vessels." "According to these readings, we have coordinates for more ships," Sam said, studying his console. "Guardian, how many vessels are in the fleet?" The full Sol System defense fleet consists of 273 vessels of various classes, Guardian replied. "Currently all remain in dormant status except Defender." The crew exchanged shocked looks. 273, Bennett repeated. "Correct. Including 5 Dreadnought-class vessels, 27 cruisers, 41 destroyers, like Defender and various support ships." Admiral Foster's voice came through clearly. "Commander, bring Defender to the dark side of Earth's moon. We need to run full diagnostics before the Maldorian deadline expires." As Bennett guided the ancient warship through space, Jack and Lisa continued studying the data from the desert facility. "Look at this," Lisa said, pointing to a section of star charts. "These markings show human colonies once existed on hundreds of worlds across multiple star systems." Jack nodded. "And according to these records, many current Council species were actually created or uplifted by humans. We weren't just the first spacefaring race. We shaped the development of dozens of others. Including the Maldorians," Lisa realized, highlighting a section of text. "They were aquatic creatures before human genetic modification gave them the ability to survive on land and in space. No wonder they're so desperate to take this technology from us," Jack said. "If other species learn humans were once their creators and protectors, the entire power structure of the Galactic Council could collapse." The countdown timer on President Carter's desk showed 6 hours remaining before the Maldorian deadline. Reports indicated 3 more alien warships had joined the first 3 in Earth orbit. "They're preparing for attack," her defense minister warned. Carter looked at the latest communication from Admiral Foster, a report on the Defender's capabilities that seemed almost too incredible to believe. "How quickly can we activate more of these ancient ships?" she asked. "Bennett's team is already heading to Ceres to access the next vessel," Foster replied. "But we need time." Carter straightened her jacket. "Then I'll buy us some time. Set up another call with the Maldorian ambassador." As night fell over the Atacama Desert, the ancient facility continued to awaken. More systems came online, revealing secrets humanity had hidden from itself thousands of years ago. And in the darkness of space, an ancient warship moved silently toward the asteroid belt, carrying humans who were beginning to remember what they once were. The galaxy was about to learn why their ancestors had feared the wrath of humanity. When humanity unveiled their ancient fleet, the galaxy quaked. Part 3. President Carter stood tall as the Maldorian ambassador's hologram flickered before her. His blue skin seemed to pulse with anger. "You ask for more time?" Ambassador Vorn sneered. "There is no more time. Our sensors detect unusual activity near Mars. You are activating forbidden technology." "We are conducting routine scientific research," Carter replied calmly. "As is our right." "Your rights?" Vorn laughed, a harsh sound. "Humans have only the rights we grant you. The Galactic Council found your species living in primitive conditions only 70 years ago. You were barely capable of reaching your own moon." Carter's eyes narrowed slightly. "Perhaps there is more to Earth's history than the Council acknowledged." "Enough games," Vorn snapped. "I have new orders from the Council. All archaeological sites must be surrendered for inspection immediately. All unusual energy signatures must be explained. Failure to comply will result in military intervention." When the transmission ended, Carter contacted Admiral Foster. "The Maldorians know something's happening," she said. "How much time do you need?" "Commander Bennett has reached Ceres," Foster replied. They're accessing a cruiser-class vessel now. We need at least 12 more hours to have 2 ships combat ready. I'll do what I can, Carter promised, but prepare for the worst. Inside, the massive asteroid Ceres Bennett and her team stood in another enormous hangar bay. Before them was a ship twice the size of the Defender, sleeker, more elegant, but clearly designed for battle. "Guardian," Bennett called out. The hologram appeared beside her instantly, having transferred from the Defender. "What class is this vessel?" "This is the cruiser-class vessel Protector," Guardian replied. "It carries enhanced defensive capabilities and can coordinate fleet movements." Sam Miller ran his hand along the hull, watching blue light spread from his touch. "These ships recognize us as their rightful crew. After 15,000 years, they still know human DNA. They were programmed to await your return," Guardian explained as a doorway opened in the ship's side. "No other species can command these vessels." While Bennett's team worked to activate the Protector, Jack and Lisa made another breakthrough in the desert facility. "I found it," Lisa exclaimed, pointing to a display showing a massive object in orbit around Neptune. "That's not a moon, it's the flagship." Jack studied the readings. "It's enormous. According to these specifications, it's over 5 kilometers long. It says here the flagship contains something called the Archives," Lisa noted. "Complete historical records of human civilization before the memory wipe. If we could access those records, we'd know exactly why our ancestors hid their past," Jack said excitedly. "And maybe how to use that knowledge against the Maldorians." Their conversation was interrupted by an alert from Earth orbit. 6 more alien ships had arrived, joining the Maldorian vessels already there. "They're not all Maldorian," Admiral Foster noted grimly. "The Zalthori have joined them." The Zalthori were one of the most powerful species in the Galactic Council. Their ships were larger and more advanced than anything humanity possessed. At least anything in their current fleet. Jack pulled up records on the Zalthori from the ancient database. According to this, the Zalthori were genetically modified by humans to serve as administrators. They were created to help manage the human empire. "Created?" Foster asked in disbelief. "You're saying the Zalthori were made by humans?" "Not just them," Lisa added, reading further. "Many council species were either created or uplifted by ancient humans. We weren't just another spacefaring race. We were the first, the founders." In orbit around Earth, a Zalthori battleship moved into position. Its commander, High Admiral Zrek, contacted the Maldorian ambassador. "Has the human government agreed to surrender the technology?" Zrek demanded, his scaled face filling the screen. "They deny possessing any forbidden technology," Vorn replied. "They claim to be conducting routine research." Zrek's yellow eyes narrowed. "Impossible. Our long-range sensors detected the activation of a Founder-class energy signature near Mars and another near Ceres. These match patterns stored in our most ancient records. The Founders are myths," Vorn said nervously. "Stories to frighten young ones." "Perhaps," Zrek replied. "Or perhaps there is truth in the legends that the Zalthori were once servants to greater masters. Masters who vanished but promised to return." "What are your orders?" Vorn asked. "Prepare your ships for attack," Zrek commanded. "We will seize this technology by force." Back on Ceres, the Protector hummed to life. Bennett sat in the command chair while Sam worked at the engineering station. "All systems online," Sam reported. "This ship has weapons capabilities I can't even understand, and the shield technology is beyond anything we've ever seen." "Guardian, can the Protector stand against Maldorian and Zalthori vessels?" Bennett asked. "Affirmative," Guardian replied. "Protector can engage and neutralize all current vessels in Earth orbit while sustaining minimal damage." Bennett contacted Admiral Foster. "Sir, Protector is operational. We're ready to return to Earth." "Not yet," Foster instructed. "President, Carter is still negotiating, and we need more ships." At that moment, alarms sounded throughout Earth's defense systems. The alien fleet was powering weapons. "They're moving into attack formation," Foster reported. "We're out of time. President Carter faced the Emergency Council." "Options?" Our current fleet cannot repel this many advanced vessels, the defense minister said. We should consider their terms. And give up technology that rightfully belongs to humanity? Carter shook her head. I won't surrender our heritage. She opened a channel to Admiral Foster. It's time. Bring in what we have. Foster nodded grimly. Commander Bennett, bring both ships to Earth immediately. Maximum speed. Inside the desert facility, Jack and Lisa watched as more systems activated automatically. Something's happening, Jack said. The facility is responding to the threat. Lisa pointed to new signals appearing on the star chart. Look. More ships are waking up on their own. 3 in Jupiter's moons, 2 in Saturn's rings. The fleet is designed to respond when Earth is threatened, Jack realized. Even without crews, they're activating defensive protocols. In Earth orbit, President Carter addressed the combined alien fleet, her voice steady despite the weapons aimed at her planet. This is your final warning, she said. Earth claims ancestral rights to all technology discovered on or near our world. Any hostile action will be met with appropriate force. Ambassador Vorn laughed. You have no force that can stand against us. The Zalthori vessels alone could reduce your cities to ash. Perhaps, Carter replied, but I suggest you check your long-range sensors. From behind the moon appeared 2 ships of ancient design, the Destroyer Defender and the Cruiser Protector. Though only 2 vessels against 12, they moved with purpose, their hulls gleaming in the sunlight. What trickery is this? High Admiral Zrek demanded. Those are Founder vessels, Vorn whispered in shock. Humanity remembers its past, Carter declared. We know who we were, who we are. The fleet that once protected this galaxy has awakened. Impossible, Zrek snarled. The Founders vanished eons ago. The Founders were human, Carter replied, and we have returned. Guardian's voice echoed through all communication channels, broadcast from the approaching ships. Attention all vessels. You are in restricted space. By order of the Sol System Defense Fleet, you will power down weapons and withdraw immediately. Fire! Zrek ordered his fleet. Destroy those ships before they can fully activate. Energy beams lashed out from the alien vessels, striking the ancient ships directly, but where they should have cut through hull metal, they merely splashed against invisible barriers, dissipating harmlessly. No effect, Sam reported from the Protector's engineering station. Their weapons can't penetrate our shields. Bennett watched the tactical display as more signals appeared, ancient ships awakening throughout the solar system, moving toward Earth on automatic protocols. Guardian, she said quietly, show them what these ships can really do. The ancient vessels glowed with blue energy. Then, acting in perfect coordination, they released a pulse of light that washed over the alien fleet. Every system on the Maldorian and Zalthori ships went dark, leaving them floating helplessly in space. As the pulse faded, 5 more ancient ships appeared from the outer solar system, more awakening defenders coming to protect their home. The galaxy was beginning to quake. When humanity unveiled their ancient fleet, the galaxy quaked. Part 4 silence filled the command center as everyone watched the screens. The once threatening alien fleet now drifted powerless in Earth orbit. Their weapons were offline, their engines dead. What did you do to them? Admiral Foster asked over the comm. From the bridge of the Protector, Sam studied his console. According to these readings, we deployed something called a neural disruption field. It temporarily disabled their computer systems without harming any organic life. Can they restore power? Foster pressed. Not for approximately 6 hours, Guardian replied. The field affects quantum circuitry at a fundamental level. President Carter wasted no time. Open a channel to High Admiral Zrek's vessel. Let's talk while they're in a listening mood. On the powerless Zalthori flagship, emergency lights cast an eerie glow over the bridge. High Admiral Zrek's scales had paled from deep green to a sickly yellow. What have they done? He hissed to his second-in-command. How could 2 ships disable our entire fleet? A communication screen flickered to life, the only system still functioning. President Carter's face appeared. High Admiral, she greeted him calmly. I believe it's time to renegotiate the terms of humanity's membership in the Galactic Council. Zrek's yellow eyes narrowed. Those ships, they're founder technology. They're human technology, Carter corrected. Built by our ancestors, hidden until we were ready to reclaim them. Impossible, Zrek spat. Humans cannot be the founders. The founders were gods who walked among the stars when my species was still climbing from the oceans. Jack's voice came through on a separate channel. Hi, Admiral Zrek. I'm Dr. Jack Harmon, lead archaeologist on the Earth excavation. We've discovered proof that humans genetically modified the early Zalthori to serve as administrators of the human galactic empire. Your species was created by mine. Zrek's face contorted with rage. Lies. The Zalthori Imperium rules 1,000 worlds. We answer to no one, least of all primitive humans. Then explain how our primitive technology just neutralized your entire fleet, Carter said. And be aware that 7 more ancient vessels are now approaching Earth. Would you like to see what they can do together? For the first time, fear showed in Zrek's eyes. Meanwhile, Bennett had received new orders from Admiral Foster. Commander, take the Defender to Neptune. We need to secure the flagship before the Council sends reinforcements. What about the disabled alien fleet? Bennett asked. The Protector and the newly awakened ships will keep them in check, Foster replied. Your mission is to access the archives. We need to know everything about our past if we're going to survive what comes next. Bennett nodded to her crew. Set course for Neptune, maximum speed. The Defender pulled away from Earth, its ancient engines flaring with blue energy. Within minutes, it had accelerated to speeds no modern human ship could match. Guardian, Bennett asked as they hurtled through space, what exactly are the archives? The archives contain the complete history, scientific knowledge, and cultural records of human civilization before the Great Forgetting, Guardian explained. They were preserved on the flagship to ensure nothing would be permanently lost. Why? Did humans choose to forget? Sam asked the question that had been bothering them all. Guardian was silent for a moment. That information is restricted until the archives are reactivated, but I can tell you it was done to protect humanity and all civilized species from extinction. At the desert facility, Lisa had discovered something troubling. Jack, look at this, she called out, pointing to a star chart showing regions far beyond the solar system. Red markers pulsed at the edges of mapped space. What are those? Jack asked. Warning beacons, Lisa replied. Set up by ancient humans to mark something. The text just calls them forbidden zones. And according to these timestamps, some of the beacons have been going silent over the past 50 years. Jack felt a chill. Right around the time alien species first contacted Earth? Lisa nodded grimly. I think our ancestors were hiding from something that might still be out there. Back in Earth orbit, President Carter continued negotiations with the disabled alien fleet. These are our terms, she stated firmly. Earth will retain all rights to ancient human technology. The treaties forcing us to surrender archaeological finds are void, and humanity will take its rightful seat on the Council's high command. The other Council species will never agree. Ambassador Vorn protested weakly. They will when they learn. The truth, Carter replied, that humans created or uplifted many of your species. That we were the founders you've built myths around for thousands of years. If what you say is true, Zrek said carefully, then why did humans disappear from the galaxy? Why retreat to one world and live as primitives for millennia? That's what we intend to find out, Carter answered honestly. The Defender approached Neptune's orbit, slowing as it neared a small, irregular moon that conventional astronomy had never paid much attention to. Guardian, is that the flagship? Bennett asked, looking at the unremarkable chunk of ice and rock. Correct. Holographic camouflage conceals its true nature, Guardian replied. Like with the hangar in Phobos, Sam noted. These ships were meant to stay hidden until needed. Initiating recognition protocols, Guardian announced. The Defender sent out a pulse of blue light. In response, the small moon seemed to shimmer and then transform. The rocky disguise dissolved, revealing a massive vessel unlike anything they had seen before. Where the other ships were sleek and predatory, the flagship was majestic. 5 kilometers long, it resembled a city in space more than a warship. Its hull bore intricate designs that told the story of human history across thousands of worlds. "That's the Remembrance," Guardian said with what sounded like reverence. "The last great vessel built before the great forgetting." "It's beautiful," Bennett whispered. As they approached, the massive ship awakened from its long slumber. Lights appeared along its hull, and a docking bay opened like welcoming arms. "We're receiving an automated message," Sam reported. "It's inviting us aboard." The Defender docked inside the flagship's enormous bay, settling among smaller craft that had waited there for thousands of years. Bennett led her team through the airlock, stepping onto the deck of humanity's greatest achievement. Unlike the other vessels, the Remembrance was not merely a warship. Its corridors were lined with art, its chambers designed for both function and beauty. It had been built to preserve the best of human civilization. They reached the central command hub, a vast circular room with windows looking out into space. In the center stood a raised platform surrounded by control stations. "The archives," Guardian announced, gesturing to the platform. "Access requires genetic confirmation from multiple human bloodlines, a safeguard to ensure no single individual could alter history." Bennett and Sam stepped onto the platform together. Blue light scanned them from head to toe. "Genetic patterns confirmed," a new voice announced, deeper and more resonant than Guardian's. "Welcome, children of Earth. I am Keeper of Memories." A new hologram appeared, an elderly figure with kind eyes and a gentle smile. "You have questions about your past," the Keeper said. "About why humanity chose to forget its greatness. I have waited 15,000 years to answer them." The hologram waved a hand, and the room transformed around them. Stars appeared, showing the galaxy as it once was, with thousands of worlds, marked as human colonies or protectorates. "Humanity was the first," the Keeper began. "The first to reach the stars, the first to unlock the secrets of genetics and consciousness. We created new species to share the galaxy with us. We uplifted. Others we found struggling on their homeworlds. But something went wrong," Bennett guessed. The Keeper nodded sadly. "We discovered something ancient sleeping in the void between galaxies, something that had destroyed countless civilizations before ours. We called them the Devourers." The stars in the holographic display dimmed as a shadow spread across the galaxy. "They were awakening," the Keeper continued, "and they were drawn to advanced technology and connected consciousness, the very things that made our civilization great. To survive, humanity made the ultimate sacrifice." "The Great Forgetting," Sam whispered. "Yes," the Keeper confirmed. "We erased our own memories, hiding our technology and retreating to Earth to live as primitives. The fleet was hidden, programmed to awaken only when humanity naturally rediscovered space travel. By then, we hoped, the Devourers would have returned to their slumber." Bennett felt a chill run down her spine. "And did they?" The Keeper's expression grew grave. "The warning beacons suggest otherwise. I fear in reclaiming your heritage you may have also attracted their attention once more." In that moment, alarms sounded throughout the Remembrance. Something was approaching from the outer darkness of the solar system, something that had not been there moments before. Humanity had remembered its greatness just in time to face its ancient enemy. When humanity unveiled their ancient fleet, the galaxy quaked apart. The alarms echoed through the vast chambers of the Remembrance as Bennett and her crew rushed back to the command center. "What's approaching?" Bennett demanded. The Keeper's hologram waved a hand, displaying the outer solar system. A distortion was moving inward from beyond Pluto, a ripple in space itself rather than a solid object. "Devourer Scout," the Keeper said gravely. "They sensed the activation of multiple founder vessels." "Can the Remembrance defend against it?" Sam asked. "This vessel was designed to combat the Devourers," the Keeper replied, "but it requires a full crew to utilize all systems." Bennett opened a channel to Earth. "Admiral Foster, we have a situation." She quickly explained about the Devourers and the approaching threat. Foster's face paled as he listened. "I'll inform President Carter immediately," he said. "How much time do we have?" "The Scout will reach Neptune's orbit in 3 hours," the Keeper answered. "If it confirms human technological resurgence, it will summon others of its kind." "We need reinforcements," Bennett decided. "Guardian, are there more ships near Neptune we can activate?" "Affirmative," Guardian replied. 3 destroyer-class vessels are hidden within Triton. "Wake them," Bennett ordered, "and prepare the, Remembrance for combat." Back at Earth, President Carter faced a difficult decision. The disabled alien fleet would soon regain power, and now an ancient enemy was approaching. "We need allies," she told Admiral Foster. "Even with our ancient fleet, we may not have enough crews to operate all ships effectively." She reopened communications with High Admiral Zrek. "The situation has changed. We face a common threat, one that drove humanity into hiding thousands of years ago." Zrek's expression remained suspicious. What threat could force the mighty founders to cower on a single world? Jack joined the conversation, sending data from the desert facility. "We called them the Devourers. They feed on advanced civilizations. According to these records, they wiped out dozens of galaxies before reaching ours. Humanity didn't hide out of fear," Lisa added. "They hid to protect all sentient life, including the species they had created or uplifted. They sacrificed their empire to save the galaxy." Slowly, understanding dawned on Zrek's face. "The ancient texts speak of a time when the stars went dark, when communication between worlds failed. We thought it was myth." "It was history," Carter said. "And now the Devourers are returning. We need your help." Zrek was silent for a long moment before responding. "What would you have us do?" Near Neptune, Bennett watched as 3 more destroyer-class vessels emerged from Triton, their systems awakening after millennia of slumber. They moved into formation around the Remembrance like honor guards. "The Scout has accelerated," Sam reported. "New estimated arrival, 45 minutes. Bennett studied the tactical displays. "Keeper, what are the Devourers' weaknesses?" "They exist partially in another dimension," the Keeper explained. "Conventional weapons are ineffective, but the Remembrance carries quantum disruptors designed to sever their connection to our reality. And we need a full crew to operate them," Bennett concluded. She looked at her small team. "We'll have to do what we can with what we have." The Keeper's hologram approached her. "There is another option. The Remembrance contains neural imprints of its original crew. They could guide your actions, enhance your abilities." "You mean merge with us?" Sam asked uncertainly. "Temporarily," the Keeper assured him. "The imprints would provide the knowledge and muscle memory needed to operate advanced systems." Bennett nodded decisively. "Do it. Whatever it takes to protect Earth." The crew took their positions at various stations around the command center. The Keeper directed each of them to place their hands on neural interfaces. As they did, blue light flowed up their arms, connecting them to the ship and to the memories of those who had served before. Bennett gasped as knowledge flooded her mind. Combat tactics, ship capabilities, the nature of their enemy. She was still herself, but now carried the experience of the Remembrance's original captain. "All stations report ready," she announced, her voice steady with new confidence. "Weapons online, shields at maximum." The distortion in space grew closer, resolving into a shape that defied description. Part machine, part organic, part something else entirely. It pulsed with energy that made the sensors scream in protest. "Devourer Scout in range," Sam reported, his hands moving across his console, with practiced ease guided by the neural imprint. "It's scanning us." "Don't let it complete that scan," Bennett ordered. "Fire quantum disruptors." Beams of white energy lanced out from the Remembrance, striking the Devourer Scout. The creature machine twisted in space, its form distorting further, as the quantum fields tore at its dimensional anchors. "Direct hit," Sam confirmed. "But it's adapting." The Devourer Scout released a pulse of dark energy that washed over the 4 human vessels. Shields flared as they absorbed the attack. "Shield capacity at 60%, reported an engineer. "That was just a defensive response," the Scout began, "to change shape. growing appendages that resembled weapons. It was preparing to fight back. It's calling for reinforcements, the keeper warned. We must destroy it before the signal reaches its destination. Bennett felt the knowledge of the ancient captain flow through her mind. Coordinate fire with the destroyers. Target pattern Omega-3. All 4 ships fired simultaneously, their beams converging on specific points of the Devourer scout. It writhed in space, its form destabilizing. One more volley, Bennett ordered. Maximum power! The ships fired again, and this time the Devourer scout shattered, its dimensional connection severed. The pieces drifted apart, rapidly losing cohesion as they fully entered normal space. Target destroyed, Sam reported with relief. Did it get a signal out? Bennett asked urgently. The keeper analyzed the data. Partial transmission detected. The signal was incomplete, but enough to alert others of its kind that something is happening in this system. How long until they arrive? Unknown. Perhaps days. Perhaps weeks. Bennett opened a channel to Earth. Admiral Foster, Devourer scout destroyed, but others will come. We need to prepare. In Earth orbit, a remarkable scene unfolded. The alien fleet, now restored to power, was not preparing to fight or flee. Instead, Zalthori and Maldorian crews were boarding human vessels, guided by data from the archives transmitted through the Remembrance. My ancestors served alongside humans against the Devourers, High Admiral Zrek told President Carter. The Zalthori Imperium will honor that ancient alliance. One by one, the species of the Galactic Council that had looked down on humanity now pledged support. Ancient memories preserved in fragmentary records and myths spoke of a time when all species fought together under human leadership against the darkness between stars. On the Remembrance, Bennett received new orders from Admiral Foster. You're to take command of the flagship and the Neptune Defense Group, he told her. More crews are on their way to staff the other ancient vessels. We're activating everything we can find. How many ships do we have so far? Bennett asked. 37 and counting, Foster replied with a hint of pride. Each one awakens others when fully activated. The entire fleet is coming online. Jack and Lisa joined the conversation from the desert facility. We've found something else, Lisa reported excitedly. The archives mention a weapon called the Solar Forge. It was hidden within Mercury, designed as a last resort against the Devourers. A weapon that could destroy them completely, Jack added. Not just send them back to their dimension. The Keeper's hologram nodded. The Solar Forge harnesses the sun's energy to create a quantum barrier around the entire solar system. But it requires the combined power of at least 50 founder vessels to activate. Bennett looked at the tactical display showing the growing fleet of ancient human ships. More were awakening every hour, moving into defensive formations throughout the solar system. Then we'll have 50, she said with determination. And more. As the ancient fleet continued to awaken, news spread throughout the galaxy. The founders had returned. Humanity had reclaimed its heritage, and they stood once more as the shield against the darkness. Species that had once looked down on humans now remembered the old stories, of the first race that reached the stars, of the protectors who sacrificed everything to save others, of the guardians who promised to return when needed most. The galaxy quaked not with fear but with hope, for the ancient fleet had awakened, and humanity stood ready to defend all life once more.